Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty and the Frizz. My name is Kara. Whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for another one today. At the end of my Roxa video last week, I went on a whole rant about palettes that I wanted Natasha Denona to release or re-release, and one of those was the Safari palette. So what I'm going to do today is build my own Safari palette using the mini mattes that I have. I'll show you all of my matte eyeshadows, and we're going to try to build this Safari palette. If that sounds good to you, keep watching this video. Let me know what you think. And if makeup is your therapy and your love, if it makes you happy and you want to hang out with those who feel the same way, definitely consider joining the community. I'd love to have you back. All right, let's get started. So how are you? I'm just peachy. It is a Saturday afternoon, and what better time to play with makeup than now? It's kind of quiet in the house for a second, and we're gonna go ahead and build the Safari palette. Now, the one thing that I remember hearing about the Safari palette is that the mattes weren't the best formula. This palette came out before my makeup life, before my Natasha Denona life. I have so many matte shadows, and I just think this would be a great opportunity to make an all matte Safari palette of my own that I could probably just keep as a standing palette since I haven't been using my singles so much. So I'm going to show you, and before we get into the singles, let me know how you're doing in the comment section or the chat, whichever you prefer. And now we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to just show you all of my matte singles. So the focus is not going to be the shimmers here. I do have more than what I'm showing you right now, but those are shimmers. This palette right here is from the Sydney Grace monthly bundles. I definitely see a few shades that could go into this palette. So like I'm looking at like this one right here for sure. Maybe this gray. So I think I'm going to use that one. This is my Sydney Grace large palette, and I have a bunch of mattes in this one. See a lot of options here. Here's another one of my Sydney Grace monthly bundle palettes. Some of those are missing. Here is the Retro Glam palette that was created by none other than Mel Thompson. I do have a shade missing here. I have to see which one that is. But this one's gorgeous. I see a lot of opportunities in this palette as well. I have a couple more Sydney Grace monthly bundle shades. I have these mattes here, variety of brands here. I'm thinking Copacetic Cosmetics. And I know there's a KKW beauty palette in here. It was like the Volcano one. I don't remember what it was called. Fire maybe. These ones at the bottom. I have these here. These are, I want to say, Looksy Beauty mattes. So I have a lot of options. I'm sure I can create this palette, and I'm going to be housing it in this one here, which is from Give Me Glow. And this should be able to hold the 15 shades. Now, before we start picking out shades, I am going to read some information about the Safari palette from when it came out. This is coming from the Beautylish website. So I'm just going to show you some B-roll here. Go on an all matte adventure. Explore a jungle of color with the Safari palette. Natasha Denona's first all matte eyeshadow palette. Inspired by a tropical safari, this 15-pan palette brings out the best in Natasha Denona's signature matte eyeshadow formula with rich hues ranging from earthy terracotta to deep sea blue and olive khaki green. And this was her large palette formula. These are usually $129. On the Beautylish website, it says $90.30. I'm not sure how much it retailed for. I would love to know if you have the Safari palette or had it. What didn't you like about it, or what did you like about it? I know some people do still like it, but I heard a lot of complaints about the mattes being patchy, really powdery, and just not Natasha's regular matte eyeshadow formula. And the reason that I know that is because I was looking the palette up on Macari and then started looking at reviews and went down that rabbit hole some time ago. But I still long for that palette. So let's get into the shade names and the descriptions of the shades, and we'll start looking and seeing what shades I have in my collection that we can use. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the shade names, and let's see if we can find something. So the first shade we have is Malia. It is a powder pink, and they all have the matte finish. So I'm gonna just start grabbing some shades and showing some options, and I might make some tweaks to this palette. Okay, Marky. This one here is from Tammy Tenuka. It is a 037. I wouldn't mind having this because I do like the Tammy Tenuka mattes. Like I said, it's 037. It was just a shade that was sent to me, like an extra shade. So I have that powder pink. We can maybe use this one. This is Dreamy from Looksy Beauty. This one is Peyton's Puppy from Sydney Grace. We have some in this retro glam. This one is Honesty. That's Sydney Grace. I don't think I want to go any lighter than this. I really like, if I'm looking at these, this one's got some peachiness to it that I'm enjoying. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use this one here from Tammy Tenuka. So that's gonna be our first shade, and I'll put the rest of these away. I'm trying to keep the lighting a little deeper than I usually do so we can see the true colors. The next shade we have is Fata Morgana. It is a deep sea blue with a matte finish. So right away, I'm thinking about hashtag It's a Boy from Sydney Grace. So that's one option. I also have the shade Complicated from Looksy. Don't have a whole lot of navy shades. That might be it. I have two hashtag It's a Boy. Oh, wait a minute. Now this one is coming from Glaminatrix. It's from the You Beauty palette. And I honestly think this one is the closest. So I'm gonna go with that for our blue. All right, so we'll put these away. The next shade is called Rhino. Rhino is a green toned gray with a matte finish. And the key word there is green toned. So let's see what we have. So I've got Thunderbird from Sydney Grace. That's definitely not green toned. And then I'm looking at this shade, but that's not even close. This one's going to be a little tricky. This is Bravo, and I think Bravo is closer than the Thunderbird shade. And this does have a green, it is green. Let's see what else we have. Oh, wait a minute. I also have, Wonderful World. Wonderful World actually might, yeah, Wonderful World. I think that might be the best one. And I also have Alpha here from Sydney Grace. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with this one here. This is Wonderful World from Sydney Grace. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that for our green tone gray shade. And let's keep going, y'all. I love Bravo. Bravo is such a good shade. The next shade in the palette is Stone. Stone is a pale, cool gray with a matte finish. So I'm looking here at Moon Landing from Sydney Grace. I am looking at, Crescent Moon from Sydney Grace. There and Back from Sydney Grace. Moon Landing. Wait a minute. Oh, I got two Moon Landings. So I'll put that back. That was in the Mel Thompson bundle. Okay, let me see. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot about these. Hold on. Oh, we have this one. This one looks nice. This is Long Journey from Sydney Grace. Okay, the one that's standing out to me is this one. I'm just gonna take a look because it is light, seems lighter, but I'm wondering, do I want to keep it that light? Pale Cool Gray. I'm kind of liking this one too. And I'm just trying to think about, you know, what I like as well. This one is also really nice, but I'm thinking this one, let's see. Yeah, let's do, I mean, if I'm really looking at the palette, the gray, this one would be the one. Because it's a light gray. Maybe we should try to just be as accurate as we can. And I'm just taking a look at these swatches and seeing. Wait a minute. So as I'm looking at this, it's almost like a blue. I'm looking at the swatch picture. This is our 4th shade. It almost looks like this in the swatches, but that's not what it looks like in pan. But it looks like it just has a hint of green. That's not swatching the same at all. The blue even looks different. Oh, what to do, y'all? Let me see what else I have. That's what the swatch looks like. But that's not gray. On the, you know what? I'm gonna have to use, because on the deeper complexion shots, it looks like that. But on the lighter complexion shots, it doesn't. So, okay, I'm not using that green. I'm not gonna use this because it looks a little bit deeper. I'm gonna just go with Moon Landing. That's what I'm gonna do. Looking at the swatches, we're gonna use that. All right, so I'm gonna put these away. These are great. These are great grays. I'm calm. Okay, but you didn't finish exercising. Oh. So you go finish. Get back to work. Mark is having a little meltdown. The next shade is Savannah. Savannah is an olive khaki with a matte finish. And that is where I think Bravo is going to come in, or maybe even General. This is General from Sydney Grace. And this is Bravo. I'm thinking it's going to be Bravo, but let me look around. I'm almost certain it's going to be General or Bravo. Olive khaki. So we have Bravo, and then we have General. Olive khaki. I don't know, General looks good too. Oh, wait a minute, what's this one here? This one, that's Relax. Let me see what this looks like in pan. I think Relax is not going to be green enough for us. So it's going to be one of these. It looks really deep in the swatches. So let me just look at this again. That's General. That's Bravo. I think I'm going to go with, I don't know, there's something a little more brown in the pan, but I don't think I have a shade. I mean, this is going to be the closest that I have. Something about General is looking a little more brown to me. So let's do General. I don't know, Bravo. I just love Bravo. I just love Bravo as a shade. So that's why I'm like, I want to use it. But I'm gonna go with General. So there's our first row, and we're gonna move on with Aya. Aya is a pale apricot peach crush from Sydney Grace. I have Kilauea, that's from the KKW Beauty Fire palette, pale apricot. So I have a lot of little pinky shades. These are probably gonna be the best of what I have though, as I'm looking here, because I have this one. This one's a little pink French hens. That's a little too pink for me. And then I do have Summer Magic. I kind of want something that has a little more color to it though. And then I have this one here, which is Coral Reef, but I think I have to look and see what this looks like in the pan. So let's just use those. I have Red Start. I think Red Start might be too deep. And this is another peachy one. It almost looks like, oh, I don't know if I want any of these shades in here. I think I'm gonna go with this one here. I can tell a slight difference in the pan between the two, but they do look similar. I'm gonna go with this one. So this is Peach Crush. That's going to be my choice for the shade Aya. The next shade is Thorn. Oh, I have plenty of these, y'all. Plenty. Thorn is a deep rust. So let's see. Oh my gosh. I don't even know where to begin. I have so many rust shades. We have Voila. Rom-Com looks like a really good choice. Solomon is going to be a good choice. Oh my God, my baby, Mom Ride. No, but Mom Ride is more brown. I'm just trying to use shades I like. I love me some Mom Ride. I'm really trying to make sure I'm getting rust and not brown. I think these are really good choices. I do have this one called Sunset. That's nice. Oh, I think that one might be it. Let's just choose from these 4. I think Sunset might be the one. No, let me take this one out. That's Voila. Remember that song? Voila, magic. Okay. If you don't even worry about it. Let's look at this one here. Ooh. Okay, that one. I don't think so. That's Rom-Com. And then we have Solomon. Solomon is a really nice shade too. Let's see. Solomon might be good. Ooh. Okay, I think we're going with Solomon. We're going to go with Solomon. Look at that. That's amazing. Next we have Desert Date. This one's going to be tricky. Desert Date is a creamy peach. Creamy peach. Okay. Let's see. So I don't want it to be close to the other peach shades that we chose. So we got Red Start Again from Sydney Grace. That could do it. It looks pretty vibrant, but that's Tiger. But no, that's not going to work. Okay, we have Coral Reef again. Coral Reef could be a choice. I don't have a lot of the peaches. And I'm looking at it and there's something kind of vibrant in this one. It's really fiery in the pan. And these aren't going to do it. I mean, it's orange in the pan. No, this one's not going to be the girl for us. I'm going to put her back. I'd almost go habanero just based on what it looks like on the swatches. The swatches make it look orange. So yeah, I'm going to go with habanero because everything else is way too muted. Now we have, ooh, wait a minute. That might have been really good for Tribe. Let me look. This one is going to be really good for Tribe. But I need something slightly softer for Desert Date. So there's probably Red Start Again. I knew it. No, this is Plummet. No, that's Sydney Grace. I wouldn't consider that a creamy peach, but I'm just looking at the swatches and seeing how they are showing up. That's from the KKW Beauty. This one is from the KKW Beauty Fire palette, but they don't look like that in the swatch. This is Sunset Again. They're just not looking like that. I don't know. And there's another terracotta shade in here too, so I should probably keep these around. That's not it. This one's tricky. All right, I have this one called Mesa. I'm wondering if I should go with that. That's from Looksy. I think that's gonna be it. Just looking at the swatches. And then we'll save this for Tribe, and then I'm gonna just move these for right now. This one can go. So now we're going to Shay. Shay is a cinnamon brown shade. I'm not gonna keep saying it with a matte finish because they're all matte. So let's see. Shay, cinnamon brown. That might have been good for Mom, right? But we got dark chocolate. We have Stitch Up. That's cute. That's from Glaminatrix. We have Lord's Landing. Now that reminds me of cinnamon because it's got a little red in there. We have Chocolate Raspberry Fudge. That would be another good choice. I think I should choose from those. I do like the red tone in here. That's not Mom Ride. I just want to use Mom Ride because that's my shade. I don't know. I think the other ones have more of a cinnamon look, but I don't want it to be close to this one. So let's go with Lord's Landing, and then we picked out our shade for Tribe. And Tribe is described as a bright tangerine with a matte finish. Sorry. Yeah, I think Tribe might be the brightest, but I also have Plummet here. I think that Tribe is the most vibrant orange that I own. So we'll do that. And now we are moving on. We're moving on to Lotus. All right, I'm getting into a different color story. Now Lotus is a muted pink. I'm looking here at Adore Me from Sydney Grace. Seems a little brighter though. So we also have Forever from Looksy Beauty. That one looks, not sure about that. We have Dreamy is from Looksy Beauty. There just seems to be a little more color in this one. We have Rose Petal. Rose Petal is from Sydney Grace. It's so mauvey on the swatches, and I'm looking at the pan and what it looks like in the pan. And I'm thinking this one is gonna have that cool mauvey tone, or maybe even this one. It's more of this one here. I think that's going to be the better one. This one is no. Rose Petal is a no. Just double checking to see if I have anything else. We have Faithful. Faithful. I don't know. I feel like these are kind of light. Yeah, just a little bit too light for what we're trying to do. I think this is a good choice here. This one might be a good choice though. No, this is swatching too light, in my opinion. I think this is going to give us what we're looking for. So that one is Lotus. Next, we have Amhara, which is a terracotta coral with a matte finish. So they're so similar. This one looks like it's just not as vibrant. So terracotta coral, though. This one is from the KKW Beauty Fire palette, but you see it looks close to whatever this one is. Desert Date? No, not Desert Date. Thorn. Not the same, but it's looking, it needs to be a little bit lighter. I'm looking at the pans, but I don't know if I have anything that's like more coral. We have the Sunset shade here. That could do it. I also have this one. Let me find out this KKW Beauty palette is coming in handy all these years later. And there's Sunset again. I just want to make sure it looks different because I just don't think that one looks. So I'm looking at these two, but then I'm trying to swatch it and make sure that they're all different, all these oranges that we're putting in. And I think they are. So I'm not going to use this one. I don't think this is the one. I think I'm choosing from those three. All right. Let me just make sure. All right, believe it or not, I think this should be the one. This one right here. This is Sunset. I'm going to go with that. And I'm looking at the lighting. I mean, you can tell the shades are different, and it is lighter in the pans as well. So I'm okay with this choice. Next, ooh, okay. The next shade, now I hope I have something for this. This one is called Msai, muted berry with a matte finish. Ooh, let me charge my battery. Hold on, change my battery. I'm gonna tell you what I've pulled out, but I just don't feel like they're plummy enough, but we'll see. So I have, this is called Brilliant Realm, for the Realm from Sydney Grace. I have Warm Scarves. I also have Plummet. I can just, Plummet's not it. Plummet is not it. So I'm looking through the camera and like you can just see. This last one here, I really want to make sure it gives off like a purple. So I think we're gonna choose between these two. I will. I just don't have it, but this would be the shade I go with. There's more red to me when I look in the pan in this Msai shade. But that's, oh man, I really wish I had, you know, I almost would want to go, never mind, we're gonna go with Heart, girl, what? Yes, you have it. We're going with Heartthrob from Looksy. That's the perfect shade. What am I talking about? I don't have it. Nice. Okay, I have it. So now we're gonna move on. So that's Heartthrob from Looksy for Msai. And then the next shade, we are almost done, y'all, is Voodoo. Voodoo is a deep Merlot. Okay, so we can go back to using some of the shades. Like Brilliant Realm might be good for that. Deep Merlot. That's very deep. The swatches look more brown, but I'm thinking about keeping that, because this one's not gonna do it. I think I'm gonna just stay with Deep Merlot. That's the one that, and that gives a different, it just gives a different vibe to the palette, I think, because some of these browns are looking a little bit alike, but on the swatches, I mean, it almost looks black. The only other thing, this is from Divina. This is, what shade is this? This is Manic, but I don't think it's giving Merlot vibes. It's just giving like cool tone brown. This one's giving more of a Merlot vibe for me. I don't know. In the pan, I think it looks more like this, but I almost want to keep this. The only other one I also have, Beyond. Beyond looks like it could work. That's Beyond. That's, let's see, that almost, so that's Beyond, and that's the other one. I mean, the swatch looks brown in the pan. So I don't know, it doesn't really look purple. I think I'm gonna go with Beyond, even though I really like that other shade. And that's giving me something different. And last but not least, I'm sure I have one for this last one, Tamarind, which is a caramel beige. Tamarind, okay. So we got Marigold. I'm looking for something a little more. That's Pretzel from Copacetic. Tiger from Looksy. I just have to see what this looks like in the pan. Caramel beige. We have All Mine in the light version from Sydney Grace. I also have, what is this called? Squash from Looksy. Caramel beige. This one is called Crater of Hector. That's from the KKW Beautifier palette. That's really useful right now for some reason. And that's gonna be it. So let me look at the swatch. See, the swatches is showing up so deep. It doesn't look like, I don't know. So these light ones, I think we're gonna have to not use. They're so light. So Squash is not gonna work. I mean, these are looking brown. The swatches are looking very brown. But Tamarind, this one looks really close to Tamarind, but that's not how it's swatching. They're really pigmented. Crater of Hector. Okay, Crater of Hector is close. It's that right there. I think that's gonna be it. That's it. I don't even know why we're playing games. All right, y'all. Here is my Safari palette. Let's swatch it and see what we think. That's what we're gonna do, and see if we need to make any changes. But I'm feeling this, and this is something I could really keep together. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Don't mind my shoe. All right, so first we have Malia. I'm using the names of the shades from Natasha Denona now. Powder Pink. Fata Morgana. Oh, look at that blue. That is a gorgeous blue. Yes. Next we have Rhino. Okay. Stone. Let me see what stone looks like in the swatches, so I see if I want to keep that. I think we could go a little bit deeper with stone, but I'm not sure. I'm looking for concrete road, or maybe we could do long journey. I think we want to replace this one. We're going to take moon landing out, and we're going to put in this one, long journey, and swatch over top. Because it's just a little deeper. It's right here on my hand. That just, yeah. Let's do that. Next is Savannah. That was our olive khaki. I'm just looking at the swatches. They do look similar in the swatches. All right, going into the second row, we have Aya. Oh, I'm swatching the wrong shade, y'all. Sorry. I was like, that looks like the first shade, because it was. This is Aya, the pale apricot. Next, we have Thorn, deep rust. Desert date, creamy peach, even though it's kind of orange. I think it's gonna work. Shay, cinnamon brown. It's a little deeper than Thorn. Okay. Next we have Tribe, which is our bright tangerine. Next is Lotus, our muted pink, but it looks very mauve-y in the swatches. So this is pretty close. Next is Amhara, which is the terracotta coral. A little slight different undertone than Tribe. I can see it. It is definitely a little more cool, I think. Then we have Msai, which is the muted berry. I'm trying to fit these all. Next is Voodoo, which is our deep Merlot. It looks very brown though on the swatch. Very cool tone. And then lastly, we have Tamarind, camel beige. Yes, that is the perfect shade. Oh my God. All right, let me see if I can zoom out even more. All right, this is a little bit backwards because of the way I'm holding my hand, but that's the Safari palette that I have created. And I'd love to know your thoughts on this. I am gonna have to come back in another video and do some looks. So I know this was long enough going through this process, but duping this palette really makes me feel good. Most of these were Sydney Grace mattes, and I love their matte formula. They are buttery, you know, they're not cream to powder, but none of the ones in Safari were either. Sydney Grace has some of the best matte eyeshadow shades around, like hands down, period. You just can't convince me. I mean, that it blends, of course, but for indie singles, Sydney Grace is the cream of the crop, in my opinion. So I just think that this palette is going to perform better than what people were saying about the Safari palette. I love the color choices. I think it's super close. So you're going to have to let me know your thoughts. And do you still use your Safari palette? If you have it, what shades would you change? Which ones do you feel like didn't work for you? And that's going to be it for this video. But I would like to do a follow-up video where I do some looks, but they won't be in this one. So expect to see a part 2. Maybe I could do some looks for work. I'm really excited about creating these all matte looks. I've been so into them lately. So I'm going to keep this palette together for a while, and that is going to be it. Yay. Thank you so much for taking out some of your time and hanging out with me for another one today. I hope this was therapy for you. It always is for me. And until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice, stay safe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye. Go on, block your